kidnapping, tortures, murders and forced filtration, residents of the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine face this every day. According to the United Nations, more than 1.5 million Ukrainians were forced to go through the so-called filtration centers. There, the Russian invaders search people, take away their documents and gadgets, study their social media accounts and subject them to grueling interrogations. Relatives do not know anything about the fate of those who did not pass the filtration. In cities and towns temporarily occupied by the Russian army, men are illegally served summons. There, according to human rights activists, tens of thousands of people have already been forcibly mobilized, and for refusing to fight against Ukraine, they are sent to jail.
About 20-30 people are taken from a big city per day. If we are talking about the forced mobilization, there's just no one to take anymore. It's not certain that those who were forcibly mobilized went to the front line, and it's most likely in 50% of cases that people who refuse to go to the front line are placed in the prisons for conscious objectors.
Human rights activists report an increase in illegal searches in houses on the temporarily occupied territories. The local residents say that the Russian invaders are looking for Ukrainian saboteurs.
Every day we receive the information about the invasion of the Russian army into the places of residence of people without charge or trial. They kidnap people, take them out and keep them in the unknown places. Relatives know nothing about it. We've got such a situation. A young woman was taken out of the city once, and her small children were left without any parental supervision.
School children of the temporarily occupied territories are forced to study from the Russian textbooks. During the lessons, Kremlin propaganda is being imposed on children, while the Ukrainian literature is being thrown away. In Donetsk, they have even printed the ABC of Donbass for the first graders. A letter R, a motherland, is Russia. L is for the Russian language, which each of us speaks. And all the first graders will study from a normal textbook, from ours, a Donetsk textbook. The occupying authorities intend to hold pseudo-referendums on joining Russia on the temporarily occupied territories. Campaigning is carried out in the cities. Leaflets are distributed and local residents are invited to the illegal voting. They wanted to hold pseudo-referendums in early September.
Well, we can see that everything just fails. It's because only a few hundred of paid crowd brought here are trying to portray a happy population that welcomes the Russian occupiers. Actually, no one is happy to see them.
However, Russia still expects to organize an illegal voting on the temporarily occupied territories. The Secretary of the General Council of United Russia, Andrei Turchak, has recently announced for the voting the date of November the 4th, which is the Unity Day of Russia.
Referendum on November the 4th is a new project from the authors of Kyiv in 3 days and Donbass until May the 9th. Change the screenwriters. Before arranging referendums in other countries, you should try to hold fair elections within the garden ring. It is scary, but try. Mikhailo Podolyak, advisor to the head of the Office of the President of Ukraine on Twitter.
Human rights activists say that the idea of holding a pseudo-referendum is also not welcomed on the Ukrainian territories that Russia occupied in 2014.
They do hold campaigning events, but they are faced with the fact that now people have a negative attitude towards Russia, even those who supported it in 2014. This is due to the condition of these territories. There is no water, food supplies are 2 to 3 times more expensive. They've got bad quality roads and lack of medical care.
Such pseudo-referendums will not have any legal consequences. Its organization and holding is contrary to the Constitution of Ukraine and the norms of the international law. The results of such voting will not be recognized by any legal state. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Vlada Tsurkan, UATV News.